Welcome to Journey to the Last Frontier. Today we're going to be talking about top 5 inshore game fish here in South Florida. And just so you know, these are really some of the top game fish in the world. People travel all over to where I live here in South Florida to fish for literally what's in my backyard. We're talking about tarpon, bonefish, snook, um, permit, and redfish. Okay, and I get to fish these waters like in my backyard. Multiple times a year, I am out there in the flats, Biscayne Bay, Everglades National Park. So as people travel here to go fishing, I travel elsewhere when I'm looking for adventure. So I'm talking today about the adventures in my backyard. So today we're going to be, like I said, the top 5 South Florida game fish. Number 1, okay, is the undisputed Silver King, or the tarpon. We have great spring and fall runs for migratory tarpon that easily exceed 150, 175 pounds. They follow the mullet coming in, and they follow the mullet going out during their respective spring and fall migrations. These are hard hitting, hard fighting fish. I have caught several over 150 pounds, and I would think the quickest I was able to get one to the boat was in about 30 minutes. Average fight lasts 45 minutes to an hour plus, with many spectacular jumps near the boat as well as those further away from the boat. And you can catch them here on live shrimp, live crabs, flies, or even if you're lucky with some lures. But it's an absolutely amazing fishing experience here. And for me, it is the hunt, the chase, and the fight that is the most spectacular part of fishing for these beautiful Silver Kings. All right, and when I'm done fishing with them, my body is completely racked, and momentarily, I wish I had a different, more gentle hobby. That's fish number 1. So now let's go to fish number 2 of the top 5. And these are no particular order, it just happened how I kind of like gonna explain them. All right, so the bonefish is the gray ghosts of the flat, and they are probably pound for pound, in my experience, the toughest fighting fish. They don't do the spectacular leaps and jumps that the tarpon do, but man, when they hit, boom, they are taking off like a bat out of hell, like a launch torpedo, shooting across the flats, and they could easily peel 100 yards of line before you can turn them and get them to the boat. So, bonefish are notoriously wary and spookful. You have to be very careful in your approach when you see a school of them tailing, and as well as you have to be very quiet. Any noise, even dropping a fishing rod or dropping a bottle of water, which I have done in the past, can spook that whole school off, and then you lost them. You lost that school for the day. And the interesting thing here with bone fishing on the flats, it's sight casting. You're literally looking for the tailing fish or their shadow or their water movement. So you need to really keep your eyes peeled when you're going bone fishing on the flats. It's more like hunting because you're really looking for them. The 2 most important things to bring with you on the boat when you're bone fishing: pair of Polaroid sunglasses, and 2, patience. And you, trust me, will need both to see the fish and to be out there all day sight fishing, looking for your opportunity to get one of these beautiful, spectacular game fish. Game fish number 3, hooked on snook. I am a snook addict. I love fishing for these line siders, named so because of the lateral line that they have across them. They are hard fighting, head shaking, leaping inshore game fish that you can catch near the mangroves or on certain flats and channels in Biscayne National Park, Everglades National Park, inshore estuaries, as well as under bridges at night. They love live shrimp. They love top waters. They love, any type of artificial or fly like a clouser. They just smash the top waters, and there's nothing more thrilling than when a snook is just smashing your top water lure and then peeling off, and you gotta fight him to make sure he doesn't get into the mangroves, because once that fish takes you into the mangroves, it is game over. They will throw the hook. They will break the line. One of the most spectacular sounds on a quiet early morning in Everglades National Park or Biscayne National Park is when you hear this explosion in the water, and it is one or many snooks smashing into the bait fish, whether they be mullet or pinfish or pilchards. They're just smashing into them, and that is, once you hear that sound, you literally will be hooked on fishing for snook. All right, that brings us to game fish number 4. All right, and it's redfish. And the redfish, they're not as abundant in South Florida as in other parts of Florida, like up in the Panhandle or Louisiana or whatnot. But with the right tide, the right gear, and certainly in Everglades National Park, I have caught plenty of nice sized redfish. None of those big bulls that you get up in the Panhandle or Louisiana, but similar to bone fishing, here we're looking for tailing fish with that telltale dot on their back of their tail, or more commonly mud puddles, because as they're foraging for crustaceans, shrimp and crabs, their tails may be out of the water, but certainly they're hitting with their mouth and the nose the bottom of the seagrass or the flats, and they're creating these mud puddles. So if you see the mudding, that's exactly where they're at. They also, on the flats, spook easily, talking really shallow water, 2 to 3 feet. So again, it has to be quiet and stealthy. The only thing I like better than redfish on light tackle is redfish blackened and grilled. They are really a tasty fish. Fish number 5. All right, permit. One of the banes of my existence, because I've only caught one years ago. And every time I go permit fishing out here, for one reason or another, I get skunked. We see them, I blow a cast, I drop something, spooks off the permit. But they are high on my target list, and hopefully this year the fishing gods of the flats will feel pity on my soul and allow me to catch a trophy permit. Hell, I'll even take a small permit at this point. But they are definitely one of the most powerful fighting flatfish out there. They also do spawn offshore in deep water wrecks. I prefer fishing in the bay and on the flats as opposed to offshore for permit or any other fish for that matter. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 fish that people travel to Florida for. That's the tarpon, bonefish, snook, redfish, and permit. And as a bonus, if you can get your tarpon, permit, and bonefish all in one day, that is a Florida Grand Slam. And I have tried that a few times. I have always come up short because I have not yet gotten that permit. Well, I hope you like what you see, and if you like it, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the future out on the water or what have you, whatever your outdoor activities are. Take care. Later.